Welcome to this short in-service presentation. In the next few minutes, we'll become familiar with the MR850 humidifier and how to set up the consumable breathing circuits and interfaces used to deliver respiratory humidification to your patients. Let's start by identifying the components of the MR850 system. This is the humidifier. It has a control and display panel at the front, a heater plate and finger guard on top, and color-coded sockets to connect electrical adapters and sensing probes on the side. This is the humidification chamber that holds water. It is filled from a rigid or flexible water bag through the water feed tube. This is the breathing circuit. It connects the ventilator or other flow source to the chamber and carries humidified gas to the patient. In the case of dual limb ventilation, it also carries the expired gas back to the ventilator. In this setup, you can see the breathing circuit attached to a catheter mount that would be affixed to an endotracheal or ET tube. In this setup, you can also see an expiratory filter. Filters may be added to either the inspiratory or expiratory limb. Let's now look at how to set up the humidification chamber and breathing circuit on the MR850 humidifier. Start with the humidifier turned off. Gather the components required for setup, including the heater wire adapter, temperature and flow probe adapter, humidification chamber and breathing circuit kit, and water bag or bottle. Open the breathing circuit bag and take out the humidification chamber. Push down the finger guard and slide the humidification chamber onto the humidifier heater plate, making sure the aluminium base of the chamber slides under the guides on either side of the heater plate. The chamber should slide to the back of the heater plate until the finger guard springs back into place. There are blue port caps on the top of the chamber that hold the floats in place during transport. Pull up on the ring attached to these port caps, remove and discard them. Under the port caps there is a water feed tube holder. Unwind and remove the water feed tube. If you are ready to use the system immediately, hang a water bag on the water bag pole and spike the water bag. If you're setting up for future use, the water feed set holder can be used to protect and keep the water bag spiked clean. Use sterile or distilled water. Do not use saline or any medicated fluid such as glucose. Connect one end of the short piece of blue corrugated tube or dry line to the inspiratory port of the ventilator, and the other end to one of the ports on the humidification chamber. Either port may be used, but the left side, opposite the sockets on the humidifier, is preferable. If you're using an inspiratory filter, connect it between the inspiratory port of the ventilator and the dry line. Connect the white elbow-shaped connector of the blue corrugated inspiratory limb to the other port on the humidification chamber. Now, let's connect the heater wire and temperature and flow probe adapters. First, let's connect the heater wire adapter. This adapter connects the heated inspiratory limb to the humidifier and provides energy to power the wire in the limb. The humidifier adjusts the energy delivered to the wire to maintain humidity and reduce condensate in the inspiratory limb. Connect the yellow plug to the yellow socket. The socket is both color-coded and keyed to the plug. You may have to turn the plug until it slides in easily. It should click into place. Connect the other end of the adapter, shaped like a cloverleaf, to the white socket at the back of the elbow connector on the inspiratory limb. Be careful to line the plug and socket up to avoid damage to the breathing circuit or adapter. Next, let's connect the temperature and flow probe. This adapter has a blue plug and is used to measure the temperature and flow of gas at the chamber and temperature of gas delivered to the patient. This information helps the humidifier control the chamber output temperature and the breathing circuit temperature to ensure optimal humidity delivery. Connect the blue plug to the blue socket. Again, this socket is keyed, so you may have to turn the plug until it clicks into place. Connect the temperature and flow probe to the port in the side of the elbow connector. The probe port includes a V-shaped notch corresponding to a V-shape on the probe. Line these up and push the probe firmly into place. In adult breathing circuits, there is a latch. Infant circuits use a friction fit. It is important for correct operation of the humidification system that the probe is lined up with the V-notch and inserted fully. Insert the temperature probe into the temperature probe port at the patient end of the inspiratory limb. Again, it is important for correct function of the system that the probe is inserted fully. You'll notice that there is no blue probe plastic showing outside the circuit, and the grey plastic is seated against the probe port. If included, attach the temperature probe cord clips to hold the probe wire against the breathing circuit. We have now set up the inspiratory limb. For dual limb applications, such as invasive ventilation and ventilator-driven non-invasive therapy, an expiratory limb is required. Fisher & Paykel Healthcare make a number of different breathing circuits that all manage expiratory condensation differently. Unheated expiratory limbs encourage the formation of condensation that is collected in a water trap and emptied regularly. Heated expiratory limbs minimize condensation by heating the expired gas and keeping it in a water vapor state. Connect the ventilator end of the expiratory limb to the expiratory port on the ventilator. If you are using an expiratory filter, connect it between the expiratory port of the ventilator and the expiratory limb. For dual limb applications, the heater wire adapter will have two circuit leads. Connect the longer lead of the heater wire adapter to the white socket at the back of the elbow connector on the expiratory limb. Be careful to line the plug and socket up to avoid damage to the breathing circuit or adapter. The expiratory limb is now complete and the breathing circuit is set up. When you're ready to use the humidifier, ensure all of the connections are tight and that there is water flowing into the chamber. Turn the device on by pressing the On Standby button in the bottom right of the control and display panel. When the device is turned on, it will be in invasive mode. We'll discuss how to change modes and troubleshoot any setup alarms later. The MR850 system is compatible with a wide range of patient interfaces. Fisher & Paykel Healthcare breathing circuits use standard ISO connectors and are compatible with common ventilators and patient interfaces, including closed suction, medication delivery, and monitoring devices. Next, let's look at adding a non-invasive mask to the dual limb breathing circuit. The same Fisher & Paykel Healthcare invasive breathing circuit can be used to wean from invasive to non-invasive ventilation. This is achieved by adding a non-vented, non-invasive mask. If using an existing breathing circuit, disconnect the Y-piece from the catheter mount. Fit the non-invasive mask to the patient according to the instructions provided with the mask. Connect the mask to the Y-piece on the end of the breathing circuit. For comfort, the humidifier can be adjusted to mask mode by pushing and holding the mode button on the top right of the display and control panel. This mode reduces the temperature of the delivered gas to skin temperature. We have now covered the dual limb ventilator applications of the MR850 system. Finally, let's look at delivering oxygen with the MR850 system. In this example, we'll look at delivering blended gas through OptiFlow nasal cannula. The breathing circuit setup is identical to the inspiratory limb setup that we've previously seen. In this case, the breathing circuit is attached to an air-oxygen blender. When you're ready to use the humidifier, ensure all connections are tight, that there is water flowing into the chamber, and turn the device on by pressing the On Standby button. Optiflow should be delivered using the default invasive mode on the humidifier. Fit the Optiflow nasal cannula to the patient according to the instructions provided with the cannula. Connect the Optiflow nasal cannula to the end of the inspiratory limb and adjust the lanyard to take the weight of the breathing circuit. In this section, we'll look at common setup warnings and operational alarms. The MR850 uses a simple drawing to indicate alarm conditions. Setup indicators. Temperature probe alarm. Check that the temperature probe is connected to the humidifier. Chamber probe alarm. Check the chamber probe. Ensure it is free from water or debris and ensure it is fully inserted. Airway probe alarm. Check the airway probe. Ensure it is free from water or debris and ensure it is fully inserted. Heater wire alarm. Check that the heater wire is connected to both the humidifier and circuit. Check the circuit for damage. Setup warnings. See manual. This indicates a hardware or software fault. Note any error code and send the device for service. Operational alarms. Water out alarm. Check the water level in the chamber and bag. Consider water feed set kinking or back pressure from the flow source. Humidity alarm. A humidity alarm indicator will light up when the humidifier cannot deliver optimal humidity. This occurs when the delivered temperature is above 41 degrees centigrade or below 35.5 degrees centigrade. An audible alarm may be heard depending on the duration and severity of the humidity condition, as defined by the work in the Williams paper. That is, a temperature and associated humidity level above 35.5 degrees centigrade is acceptable indefinitely, while a temperature below 29.5 degrees centigrade is unacceptable, even for a short time. Please contact your local representative for further information about these or any other Fisher & Paykel healthcare products, or visit www.fphcare.com.